Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Trelawney man allegedly caught on camera breaking into houses. A Trelawney man was charged with housebreaking and larceny, housebreaking with intent and malicious destruction of property, after allegedly being caught on camera committing the crime on April 13. He is 19-year-old Sewin Campbell, otherwise called Sok Sok, laborer of Spicy Hill in the parish. The Duncans police say about 10 a.m., a woman who is the owner of two houses on the same property in the community secured the locked boat and left. Upon her return, she discovered that one of the properties had been broken into and that approximately $200,000 had been stolen. The lock on the grill of the second property was also damaged. Reviewed closed-circuit television footage of the property and reportedly saw Campbell accessing the homes and made a report to the police. A targeted raid was conducted on April 14, and Campbell was pointed out by the woman. He was taken into custody, interviewed, and subsequently charged on April 16. Former policeman to be compensated for 9 years' wait for transcript of his trial. The Attorney General yesterday conceded that the constitutional rights of former police constable Garfield Wilston were breached when he had to wait for 9 years to get the transcript of his trial for his appeal to be heard. After submission began in the full court, lawyers representing the Attorney General announced an award and legal cost will be paid to Williston. Attorney-at-law Hugh Wildman explained that he was consulted to represent Williston on his appeal against his conviction for a breach of the Corruption Prevention Act. He said after waiting for 9 years to get the transcript of the proceedings from the Mapin Parish Court in Clarendon, he decided to file a constitutional motion. The matter was set for hearing yesterday. Wellman said his client is happy with today's outcome because having to wait for so long severely affected him. The transcripts were produced after the motion was filed. The appeal was heard last year March and judgment has been reserved. Williston was convicted in March 2011 for soliciting money from a motorist. He was fined $70,000 or 6 months imprisonment. He gave verbal notice to appeal after he was convicted. Wellman said that Williston, in his grounds of appeal, is contending that he should be freed because he is innocent and the parish judge made several errors of law. More than 12,000 people murdered in Jamaica in the past 10 years. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says more than 12,000 people were killed across the island in the last decade. In addition, more than 8,000 illegal firearms were seized over the period. The Prime Minister made the disclosure while speaking during a one-off two-day regional security symposium in Trinidad and Tobago on April 17. He noted that too many people continue to die by guns while reiterating the need for the United States to help prevent illegal firearms from getting into the island.
In Jamaica, in the last 10 years, we have seized 8,036 illegal firearms. And I wouldn't tell you how many I think are still in the hands of criminals. Multiples of that. But the really important figure is that 12,641 Jamaicans were murdered by illegal firearms. We spend effort, we spend time preventing an illegal substance getting to the shores of another country. A similar effort must be placed on ensuring that illegal guns don't leave their shores to come to our countries. Our children are being killed. Our young males are being killed with guns exchanged for drugs which head to North America. Our children are just as valuable as the children in North America. There has to be equal energy, effort, and attention paid to preventing illegal guns coming into our country as we pay effort, energy, and attention in preventing illegal drugs going to their country.
Consumer and business confidence fall simultaneously. For the first in a long time, consumer and business confidence has fallen simultaneously. Chief Executive Officer of Market Research Service Don Anderson made the disclosure during the 2023 First Quarter Business and Consumer Confidence Index webinar on April 18. He explained that consumer confidence fell by 2.7% during the period. This, Mr. Anderson said, is a reversal of the gradual growth and increase seen in the last quarter of the last year. Mr. Anderson further noted that business confidence fell by 5.5%.
We find that consumer confidence fell by approximately 2.7 percentage points in the first quarter of 2023 compared to the fourth quarter of 2022. So what we have, therefore, is a reversal of the gradual growth and improvement and increase in the consumer confidence during 2022 to now there has been a 2.7 percentage fall off in confidence amongst consumers. They feel that current situation is better than it was in 2022. Again, COVID was still very much in the beginning of 2022. So when they looked forward to 2022, they thought, well, the thing was going to get better. Hoped it was going to get better, but they said it was going to get better. When they look at the situation in 2023 first quarter going forward, they're not as optimistic. And there is a feeling amongst consumers that the economy is going to be more difficult for them during 2023. One of the key factors is the high cost of living, and the other factor that is of significance is the high crime rate. What has happened in the business sector? We note that in the third quarter of 2022, business confidence soared by 18 percentage points, third quarter compared to second quarter. 2022 was a kind of a roller coaster year because the 2 quarters prior to that, there was a dip in one, but in the third quarter of 2022, a surge of 18 percentage points, almost unprecedented, that level of movement in any quarter since we started to monitor this. But that, I believe, understandably so, fell off a little bit during the fourth quarter of 2022 because that's a huge surge. And what we found was that it began to level off in the last quarter of 2022. Well, that leveling off has continued through to the first quarter of 2023 because business confidence fell by some 5 percentage points between the last quarter 2022 and the first quarter 2023.
PM urges Caribbean leaders to lobby U.S. government for assistance to stem the flow of illegal guns in the region. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has again urged leaders in the Caribbean to lobby for the United States government to help stop the flow of illegal guns to the region. Speaking during a regional security symposium in Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Holness conceded that greater measures must be placed into national security by each nation, particularly in the areas of intelligence gathering and prosecution. He noted, however, that the United States has a role to play in preventing guns made in the country from getting to the region. The Prime Minister said guns fuel crime and are often used to protect drug shipment through a region. He added that the Caribbean coming to CARICOM, nations have a responsibility to protect their borders.
We must also consolidate our efforts to lobby, particularly the United States, to assist us as we have assisted them in the war on drugs. They must assist us in the war on guns. It is the greatest unfairness that we have diverted resources from other areas in which we could have spent it to fund and support a war on drugs. By the way, the two things are related, but there seems to be no real interest in stopping the other part of the trade, which are the guns. They are then turned to deal with other forms of criminal activities. We have seen in Jamaica where the weapon of choice is no longer the AK-47. It is the AR-15, it is the Glock. These are guns that are manufactured in North America. So collectively, as the leaders of CARICOM, we must raise our voice on this. We must appeal to our friends in the North to increase their efforts to prevent the flow of guns into the region. We cannot negate our own responsibility in protecting our own ports and points of entry. We must also increase in a consummate way our own spending on securing our ports and our airports and points of entry, and increase our ability to detect the entry of illegal weapons. And we must also change our laws so that they align with the new and sophisticated crimes that are being committed and the flow of weapons into our country.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell